ひどすぎる。
Amagi Brilliant Park is a story where creativity and exaggerated narratives could run free, and Kyoto Animation certainly capitalizes on that. The story centers around a Mr. Kanye West, aka Kaniseiya, a high school student who, after taking the worst first date imaginable, tries to bring an amusement park back from the dead in only 3 months to save all the magical creatures that inhabit it. Do not be fooled by the premise. Amagi Brilliant Park has a lot more depth than initially shown. I'm not saying the series is a hardcore drama like Showa Roku Rakugo Shinju, but there is more to this series than just comedic fun. Aside from little details like showing the visitor count at the end of each episode, Amagi Brilliant Park really does a nice job with the overall tone of the show. Having two conflicting tones, with those being comedic fun and depression in Amagi Brilliant Park's case, can be difficult to blend together, and while the two tones during some moments struggle, most of the time they nail the mood of the series or scene in question. Individually they wouldn't be good shows on their own, but together they create a balance that doesn't lean too far in one direction. The comedy in Amagi Brilliant Park is also fantastic, even if it isn't the main focus of the show. It's like a cross between Haven't You Heard I'm Sakamoto and The Pet Girl of Sakurazo, due to the comedy excelling because of the cast. The editing of the series itself also helps play to the witty nature of the show, as seen in the quick cuts of the first episode before our characters finish speaking. The zaniness of the narrative and cast also keeps things lively. Episode 5 had a ton of really fun moments, while stupid miscalculations lead to funny scenes as well, shown in episode 6 when they interviewed the AV girl. Along with that, I believe that Amagi Brilliant Park is one of the better comedy-centered shows when it comes to its narrative elements. Aside from the premise, which I really enjoyed, Amagi Brilliant Park does well with its structure, setting, and overall build-up. The narrative takes full use of combining an episodic style with the overarching main conflict, something that I think a lot of comedy anime struggle at. Amagi Brilliant Park also does one thing I wish more comedic series did, and that is containing a great first episode that excels beyond its comedic moments, i.e. having some kind of narrative and characters that excel beyond one dimension. Not even 30 seconds into the series, we are immediately told what style of comedy this series is going to be. The first scene of Sento pointing her rifle at Connie is able to capture that fun comedic nature right off the bat, along with the comedic interactions between Connie and Sento starting immediately, which is a great way for me to understand what your cast is all about as well. As this first episode advances, the show also does a nice job in not giving away the true premise of the show. I love how they frame Sento in the first episode when she is describing these specific attractions, making her out like a tour guide, which we initially are unaware of her being an employee of the park. It's a little detail that I found to be cool. I also believe that Amagi Brilliant Park does a nice job of setting the stage and telling us about the world these characters live in. The world of Amagi Brilliant Park is explored rather well, as we are shown new attractions each episode, either through an episodic conflict or through previews at the end of each episode. In a way, it is exposition, but the comedic dialogue, or when it comes to the preview, short runtime, make it seem otherwise. To top it all off, the conclusion to the main storyline is a fun and heartwarming episode that looks and sounds beautiful. However, Kyoto Animation wasn't done, as there was one episode left, an episode that seems like a letdown due to its placement. The 13th episode on its own is just as good as a lot of episodes in the first part of the series, which begs the question, why did they conclude with this episode? If it was placed during the middle of the story, I would have said there was nothing wrong, but after that really solid conclusion, it makes the episode seem a lot worse than it actually is. Granted, this doesn't make me dislike the story, but I don't believe it was a good decision on their part. The special, released well after the end of the series, is also worth your time if you found the comedy-driven episodes of the main story to be fun. Overall, Amagi Brilliant Park is an inspirational story in a far-fetched setting that I believe does a lot of things well besides comedy. The cast of Amagi Brilliant Park is diverse and lively, all having personalities that coexist with one another. For a comedy show, each character has their own unique style in making a specific scene funny, and of course, the interactions between them made for the funniest parts of the show. However, Amagi Brilliant Park does something else quite well that I wasn't expecting. Due to the differing tones the series contains, Amagi Brilliant Park is able to have both solid main and supporting character progression. It's a story of character faults and how the other members can help them help themselves to overcome those obstacles. This in turn helps the park grow and become better. The fact that it is pretty much done in an episodic style works well with the narrative elements also. The episodic style is able to give the supporting cast spotlight for a particular episode while still giving the main cast screen time and progression as well. The narrative finds a balance between the two that makes every character in this series seem important in their own way. In terms of the main cast, both Connie and Sento have issues with their personality or the way they interact interact with others, and they have to find a way to fix these problems, otherwise the park is done for. The progression is done in a cartoony style for the most part, but the show certainly has those scenes that can hit hard emotionally as well. Kyoto Animation once again is able to provide a great animated production that brings this creative world to life. Amagi Brilliant Park is one show where diversity is key when it comes to the cast and overall setting, and it shows with the overall product. Each ride not only looks nice, but has those added details that complement the characters they are based on. Designs, while simple in appearance, are animated quite well, and once again, Kyoto Animation knows how to execute the facial expression, and Amagi Brilliant Park is no different in that regard. The only nitpick I really have, as it is more of a personal preference than anything, is the fan service, considering it isn't exactly needed for anything besides to sell more copies, but it certainly doesn't hurt the overall product very much. The opening is very lively and fun, capturing each character's personality along with the park itself, and the ending has beautiful artwork along with nice visual effects work as well. I really enjoyed the overall soundtrack to Amagi Brilliant Park. It mostly has a mellow and down-to-earth vibe with two really well done emotional piano tracks that make the scenes playing alongside them hit hard with their emotional ideas. This is my second time going through Amagi Brilliant Park, and I had forgotten how solid of a score this series actually had. It certainly was not something I thought I would highlight by the end of watching the series. I loved both the opening and ending of the show. Just listening to the instrumental version of the opening gives off that amusement park vibe, having an upbeat and fun nature, but when you add the energetic vocals, especially the impactful first couple of seconds, it makes things even better. The ending is also quite fun, considering the actors singing it are the same actors who voiced the 4 elemental fairies, which isn't uncommon, but it gives the song a little more charm. I was a really big fan of the voice acting. The nonchalant / carefree attitude that the cast portrays most of the time is really entertaining, but they also are able to reach higher levels and give really solid performances all the way around. However, for those who love dubs like myself and haven't seen this series yet, you can check out the English release on February 28th to see the dub in action. Now, with everything that I have said, do I recommend watching Amagi Brilliant Park? Definitely. Amagi Brilliant Park is a fun creative series that knows when to use both its comedic moments and serious plot points to keep things moving. While some scenes feel forced in this area, as a whole it's well done. This obviously would not be possible without the solid supporting and great main cast that keeps things lively and fun as well. Kyoto Animation once again brought back their solid animation techniques along with the soundtrack that I very much enjoyed, and as a whole, Amagi Brilliant Park is a series I believe everyone should watch. Spartan Media Reviews gives Amagi Brilliant Park a good recommendation. If you are interested in watching Amagi Brilliant Park, you can check out the series for free over on Crunchyroll. However, the 13th episode is not available to watch on their site. Now, what are your thoughts on Amagi Brilliant Park? Comment below. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, I would really appreciate it. You can also subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, I would really appreciate that as well. Follow me on Twitter as well as Kitsu to keep up to date with the current things that I am doing, and with all that said, I will catch you guys in my next review. Thank you for watching.